Superintendent Dave Hefflinger here. I promised you last month that we would start building updates, and we are doing that. I am so happy to have at this table our Dean of our elementary principals, all our principals, Sean Bookman. Sean, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You've been the principal at Suffield for how long?
24 years.
That's oh my goodness gracious. That's a long time. Approaching a quarter of a century.
It is.
That is wild. And you have some family history with Suffield before.
I do. My grandpa was the principal at Suffield when it was Suffield High School, and also the first principal of Field High School.
That is fantastic. So a long, long family tie to this district, not just through you, but all the way back through your grandfather.
Absolutely.
That's outstanding. So I know Suffield this year has been working on literacy. Talk a little about that. What else has Suffield been working on?
Well, we've been working on literacy. As you know, the state has come out with some new standards that we need to be following. The science of reading for reading and teaching our students how to read. We've been doing some studies, we've been doing some practices, and just last week we started in and learning the modules that were put out by the state that are required for us to have completed. Some of our teachers need to have that completed by August, so we've been doing that. But the great thing about Field is we're ahead of the ball. We have been here practicing some of these standards and some of these requirements before they've even been set forth as absolute law by the state. So we've been moving in the right direction for quite a little while now.
And the governor in the state a couple weeks ago just talked about the science of reading. I mean, literacy was the #1 thing he talked about in the speech, and so we're ahead of the curve.
We are. We've been doing the Foundations reading program and some Kilpatrick and things like that for quite some time. So students are talking about phonemic awareness and phonics. And phonemic awareness is going back to before even you look at letters. It's talking about the sounds that you hear in the world around you. And it starts as early as really birth when parents start reading to students. It's reading to their own children.
So as opposed to parents of students, maybe elementary students now, this is going back to more what happened when we were in school. Not that we're that old, Mrs. Bookman, but back to when we were in school.
Right. Now we think back, I learned to read by phonics, and probably you did as well.
Yes.
But there was a time that kind of went, sort of going full circle now, and we're back to that. We went away from it because research was out there and supported that this is the different direction that we needed to go. However, the science of reading has driven us back to we need to learn phonics. We need to hear sounds. We need to see how words are created by the sounds that the letters make and breaking them down first. So we're going back to the very basics, back to how we learned how to read.
Well, it's awesome, and I'm so glad that we're ahead of the curve after hearing the governor talk about the science of reading. It was, I thought, enlightening, and I'm sure a lot of people had questions when they heard that phrase out of his speech a couple of weeks ago. So thank you very much.
But we didn't.
That's right, we did not. What other goals has Suffield been working on?
Well, we're working on students showing growth in math, and we've done some studies, and really K to through 5, we found that our students just don't know their math facts. Back to when we were in school, our parents used to help us memorize our math facts. And although we do need to know what that means when we're doing multiplication and division, so we're still working on what does dividing actually mean. But we also have to get to the point where we know them automatically. When we get to the 4th and 5th grade, students can't do any kind of fraction work, simplifying fractions, and applying those skills when they move into algebra if they don't have a good foundational skill of understanding their math facts and knowing them automatically. They spend so much time trying to figure out that problem that they can't move forward in their fractions or their algebra. So in kindergarten, they're practicing automaticity with numbers and recognition. 1st grade, doing addition, 2nd grade, adding on subtraction, and all the way on up to through 5th grade. So we're setting up a program where students have to practice for a minute, only 1 minute, 3 times a week at home.
That seems doable.
It does.
Yes.
And then they record, they send their papers back where they did the practice. The teacher keeps track. We kind of keep a scoreboard in class of the percentage of students in their class who completed their math practice.
Okay.
And then we also have a school-wide goal that we're trying to meet, where 100% of our kids do that practice. And we're keeping track of that also on a scoreboard. So it's not individuals, but it's as a whole class. So
that's fantastic.
kind of to encourage everyone to do their assignment.
math and literacy the two cores that you need to get through everything else in school?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So Suffield has been a leader in me school for a number of years now. What, from your perspective as the principal, has been the thing that either the biggest change you've seen in students, or the thing you're most proud of that the students have adopted from this program?
I guess I would say this school isn't my school. It's not your school. It's not the teacher's school. It's the kids' school, and they show their leadership there. They own the school. They have says. They have a say over what happens at the school. They really do take on that ownership, not only of the school, but of their learning. For example, they know what goal that they are personally working toward.
Okay.
They keep track of those goals in their leadership notebooks. They can talk about it with their parents at parent-teacher conferences and kind of lead those conversations. They know the action steps that they need to do in order to achieve their goal.
Okay.
And so those are the kinds of things that they're learning, which are great skills to learn as a student that you can apply in your life later. We've had kids that leave our school, go on to other schools, that have expressed to their parents, I really don't know what I'm working for. Like, what is my goal in the end? Well, why am I doing this? And because we've instilled in them, this is what we're working toward, these are the steps you can do to get there, these are the changes you can make to get there. But when the students have gone on to other schools, they don't have that clear picture. And so some of them are a little bit like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. So I think this is a life skill that they can carry on.
It's also, just when you attend programs at Suffield and you see them greeting and handing out programs and emceeing the event, I mean, the students are just amazing, and having that level of confidence will certainly guide and help them further in life.
Sure. Public speaking is part of it too. And we need that in life. Here
We
we are today.
That's right, here we are. Well, Mrs. Bookman, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you coming here. I hope that all of you out there have enjoyed the Suffield update. We'll be back in March with Brimfield Elementary. Make sure you tune in then. Until then, have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.